Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks. Welcome to my studio, Stampin' Turtles. Today we are going to be talking about my art show that I just had this weekend in Daphne, Alabama, which is my hometown. I've not done a 2-day outdoor arts craft show ever. So I think that this has been a learning experience for me for sure. And we'll talk about my best selling item from the show and kind of what I did to make that, and probably would have sold more if I had more of that. Also, talking about how other artists I met at the show were such an encouragement to me, fellow Christian artists, and um, just how amazing the artwork I saw was, and how God used me in a powerful way. So I just want to show you. Let's start with the people I met. So I actually didn't get cards from everyone I met. Um, but it was the first lady I met. Her name is Kelly Smith, and she's a mixed media and encaustic artist and does creative coaching. I may have to talk to her about that. But what I want to try and do, which I haven't done with my lives before, is um, show you my screen. So let's see if I can do that so you can see her website, because I wanted to show y'all her website. So this is her, and um, let's see. Whoops. I'm new to the screen sharing thing. So here it is. And I just wanted you to see her artwork because her artwork is amazing. Let me see, portfolio. And she's so precious. She just went around and encouraged all the artists. Let me see if I can find some of her. She has retreats, y'all. I want to go to some of her retreats. She had large pieces and small pieces that were framed in these beautiful little gold, almost like um, antique looking frames. Look at those. Can you see that? I don't know if you guys are seeing my screen right now. Hopefully you are. But she does like mark making and all kinds of cool stuff on that. So that was the first person I made. Then there was let's see, my neighbor next to me, which let me see if she has a website. Beach Made. Let's see. That's not right. Hold on. Beachmadeco.com. And y'all know my website is stampinturtles.com. Okay, so this sweet lady, her name is Ash, which I thought was funny since my daughter Jessica likes to be called Ash. But the bracelets I saw her make that were so cute. There was a sea turtle on them, but look at some of this. Just really cute stuff. A little fish. Everything handmade by her. Her booth was amazing. I loved her little booth. Look at the sea turtle. These ones, I love these. Simple sea turtle bracelet. And so she really was an amazing person. I also like this lady who did pearl jewelry. And I don't know, does she have a website? Social media. We'll see. I don't know if I can get on Instagram on this. So maybe we'll come back to her. But her jewelry was the Happy Pearl. And her name is Sharon. And she even had scripture on her card. And then another guy, Mark Johnston. He was really cool. His artwork, he says he creates with God, which is really cool. Let's see if we can look him up online. And if you want to, you can go to the Jubilee Festival of Arts website, and they have a list of all of the different artists that were there. Let me see if I can type his name right. So how's everyone doing today? Give me a little thumbs up if you like the video. It helps get that out to more people. And let's see if he pops up. Oh, yes. Okay, so you guys, he makes things with this art that is so cool. It is like this deep blues and greens. He starts with that image first with just like randomly placing ink. And then what he would do after he did that is go back later and he would look at the whatever shadows are there, whatever different things started popping up in his mind. So it was really cool. But he loves Jesus, and he was talking about his creative process, which I think is similar to mine, where you just kind of let God use you to create different things. But what was the one that he had? These are not, some of these are small, but in his booth, he had some super large ones. This one was super big. I loved this one. It was amazing. And he makes prints of a lot of his stuff. So that was kind of cool. I saw a lot of people walking around with his prints. So definitely, if I want to start selling at craft shows, I probably need more prints, right? Let me see if I can go back to just talking to me, not looking at my screen. But yeah, I tried to get cards from everybody so that I could talk to them. And the lady across from the way from me, her and her husband, were so sweet to me and gave me a ride home the first day because my husband wasn't able to do so. He had dropped me off, but then he had to do emergency taking his son down to a birthday party in Gulf Shores, right? So that was kind of unexpected, and we thought maybe my daughter could, but she had to work. So they were super nice. Her name is Rebecca, and she's super sweet. I'm already still kind of losing my voice from the show because, if you know me, I talk a lot. I blah, 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 blah. So everybody who walked by, pretty much I said, hi, how's it going? Come on in. Come check out my art. So that was kind of what I like to do. But let me show you a picture of my booth. And I need to improve on my booth because the wind was not that great. So this is how I set up. And it was really, I like the layout of this, I think. I do like my little hangers for my paintings. But the wind was blowing the walls. And it was flapping against everything. And it blew over some of my smaller stuff on there. And then it ended up, my hanging paintings were spinning around. So they were more like wind chimes, I guess, which I think is kind of funny. Here's me. And here is the conversation piece that I always put this out. I made this painting for my daughter. It's a letter from God. And originally, I asked God to speak to me and wrote out this letter. So it had started off, Dear Jacqueline. And for my daughter, I wanted it to go with her to college to hang on her wall so she could be reminded of all these truths that God speaks into our lives if we are letting Him speak to us. So a lot of people stopped. I think a lot of people, they were like, oh, my name's Jessica, or my daughter's name is Jessica. And so it's probably a popular name. And, but it was definitely one that got people to stop at my booth and read it. And one guy was like, this is all biblically true. I study the Bible and I know. And I said, well, it should be because the Lord wrote it to me. Hey, Brenda, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you on here before. So that is great. Yeah, Brenda's a longtime friend of mine who we meet at the coffee shop every Thursday. And she is just on fire for Jesus and is a sister in Christ. I love her so, so much. And let me see if I can show you anything else that I don't know what else I can show you. I didn't really take a lot of pictures from my booth, but I did want to share with you. Yeah, it's your first time on my video. um, so at first, I want to tell you guys too about the bestseller from my booth, which was, let me see. So the one of the best sellers for my craft booth was these little boards with, and I put a magnet on them. I want to show you a little bit more clearly what they are. Let me see if I can change my, I have to keep remembering to change my camera angles, y'all, because I'm not doing that, and sometimes you stare at the side of my head. You don't really want to stare at the side of my head. You want to stare at what I've got in front of me. So these ones were from a while ago. I painted them, and then I clipped this little clip on there. This one I did just like 2 days ago, 3 days ago maybe. Painted these, and I'll show you which paint I used. This is Folk Art Flat, and it's called Crushed Stone. Probably can get this at Walmart. And I watered it down and painted these wooden coasters I got off of Amazon. And then I bought these little clips off of Amazon. Everything from Amazon, y'all. Well, pretty much. Amazon, Walmart. I'm all about saving some money. So these clips were kind of cool. And I can't take credit for this idea. My friend Amanda had an idea of gifting her friends with some of my art. So she liked these little 3x3-inch paintings I did of some birds. And she's like, yeah, why don't we, she wanted to buy like a bunch for her small group. And I said, okay. And after that, she showed me how she created these little display things for her friends. And so she had these wooden coasters. I think she painted them, she even added some ribbon and attached the painting. And I was like, I'm going to steal that idea. And she said, be my guest. And so this is important to use this glue when attaching these, because I'll show you, this one did not get attached with that, and it is coming off. See? Not good. So that one needs to be fixed. But I had a bunch of these. This is the ones that I was left with. So let me see if I can move some of this out of the way, and you can see what I see. I was surprised my little mushroom didn't sell, but that's okay. And I was surprised these pumpkins didn't really sell. My big seller, and I'll have to paint some for you because I don't have any more. I'm sold completely out of them. Is my little ocean scenes. So that's what I wanted to do today. Was kind of show you guys how to paint my little ocean scene. And I do have my paintbrushes right here. We can start with some bigger ones, smaller ones. We can even use the liner brush, the rigger brush. So those are good. But yeah, I probably would have sold more of these if I had more of the ocean. I don't know, that those were selling like hotcakes. Another thing that I had only one of was a sunflower, because guess what? I left these at home, couldn't find them. And I'm like, really? Where are those? So I was very disappointed in myself that I was not as prepared as I should have been. But that is like the story of my life, isn't it, Brenda? Yes, first time on the live feed. You probably have watched on the repeat. I was asking everyone if they thought 10 a.m. on Mondays are good. I know a lot of people work. but they do say it is a good time. I haven't seen any updates on my poll because I've been so busy, but I should probably check and see if there's been any updates to it. So basically, I'm going to start with some. Oh, there is a lot of fur. Y'all, I left this on the table in the living room, and my cat apparently has been sitting on it probably. So, but Rembrandt, it's real if it has his cat's fur in it. So this is going to be sky right here, okay? Just going to let that sit. You know what didn't sell, Brenda? Oh my goodness, I was shocked. I mean, I did sell some. Your booth was nice, probably one of the nicest setups. Oh, thank you. That's right. You were walking around with your husband was there doing what was he doing again? I am so scatterbrained sometimes. But he was there. You were there both days, and yeah, it was a really good event, wasn't it? It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I think that the weather was perfect. We ended up, it was hot, but it was not as hot as it would be if it was in September like it used to be. All right, so that's our little coastline. Echo view window. That's right. So he had his booth there, I guess. And let me see if I can make this zoom in, because sometimes I can do that. Sometimes I can figure that out. There we go. And so now I've got this section pretty good. I'm going to get some of this nice turquoisey blue and make something. So yeah, this ocean scenes, y'all, were the big sellers, which I was surprised. I don't know why I was surprised. But you know how it is with watercolor. You cannot do every layer all at once. You have to wait. Now this part, I did that all with my large brush too, which a lot of people don't realize you can do a lot with your large brush. You don't necessarily need a brush size for everything. So I'm going to move that just to the side to let it dry for a minute and start a new one. Yeah, I think you were probably in your element there, going around and talking to people. And wasn't it encouraging to see? There's a lot of artists there that were Christians that believed in God, and it was just really nice to see that. A lot of happy art. I saw a lot of people, their art is called happy, or they just had bright colors, a lot of cool stuff like that. Let me see if we can just make this one completely different than this one. This one we might start with some darker blue up here. I might do more of an abstract imaging on this one, which might be cool. If you mix a little bit of that brown in with your blue, look at that. Isn't that kind of a pretty color? So another thing too, if I had more prints of, I think there was definitely one that people kept picking up and liking. It was what was it? It was the Panini Pete's, the one I did down in Fairhope. It definitely was. I sold the one print I had. So I'm learning. Someday maybe I'll be good at the whole thing. But like stuff like this, look at that. So that ocean scene, if I had more of those yesterday and the day before, I would have been able to sell out more of those. I also sold the one the one sunflower that I did have, but if I had had these, I probably would have sold those. You never really know, I guess. I could probably make a bunch of these now and for my next one, and they don't sell at all, probably. Who knows? That's the thing about these art shows. You just never really know. There's different, there are different people at different shows. So sometimes it's you know, they like beach scenes and they like all of that kind of shells and anything to do with the ocean. And then you go to the next one thinking that's going to sell at the next one. And the next one they like something completely different. So you never really know what's going to sell. And I made one little kit and it was called an emergency artist kit. And it has these cute little, let me show you guys, these cute little palettes. And it has an easel and a little canvas. So I sold one. I only made one, but I did sell it. So I might make some more of those. Sorry. Let me see if I can show you this way. I sold a bunch of, well, maybe not a bunch. I did sell like several of these little mixed media bookmarks, I called them. So I only sold them for $5 each, and which was probably not a lot of money, but I drink my tea with some honey, and it does help. But I was showing people like these take a lot longer than a watercolor, really, because you got to stamp, cut. You know, Brenda, you make cards, and you know what goes into it all, and the cutting, and the measuring, and the die cuts, and then I did the names, or you know, the wording, and the splattering. Well, splattering doesn't take too much time, but I hand painted this stuff, and so it was definitely more time consuming to do these. But I think people did like them. Brenda said the best part of the learning curve of doing arts and crafts is the fun creating. Of course, we do this because we love to create. I was thinking I should make some cards. I've shown you this card, I think, before, Brenda. I was making it for my friend Jamie, but I don't know if we're ending up doing this or not. She kind of wanted something different, I think, for her demonstrators that she does a meeting with, and but I thought this turned out pretty good, and she wanted to highlight watercoloring, which these little birds are really fun to watercolor. And this is Stamping Up stamp set you can get right now. It's on my website. My Stamping Up website, you can find it. So yeah, making cards is what I used to do since like 2007. I've been a demonstrator, but I kind of fell in love with watercolor, y'all. So now I do my watercolors. All right, so this is a good start. This one is kind of pale. Can you see the difference in them? So let me put them side by side. Also, oh, thank you, Brenda. She said very pretty. Would y'all be interested in hearing the differences between gouache and watercolor? I had one gouache painting at my show. It didn't sell. So I don't know if people really like gouache or not. I think it was designed more for people to make prints of their artwork because it's so opaque and easily photographed, right? So it can be, that's why I think people started using gouache. It's more for graphic design. Let's see what happens if I add some dark blue. And see, what I love about watercolor, and I don't know if you can do it with gouache, is that it does like to follow wherever the water goes, right? So we just let the water in the, we just wet the brush a little bit and just add, look at that. We just touch it a little bit. And look at how it kind of bleeds into the rest of it. And I just like how that looks. I don't know if you can achieve that so much with the gouache, unless you really water it. Water it down a lot, but let me see if I can do this. And then I do like to put a little Payne's Gray right against the edge of the water because that kind of shows it's wet sand right there. You can always add some splatters. That kind of looks a little blue. Ah, my voice. Ah, it looks a little blue. That's okay. Maybe add a little bit of this red. You can do whatever you want. Like, just let the Lord kind of use your hand and He'll guide it. That's how I feel. He's guiding it all the time. And so that's cool. Brenda, did you ever go see that watercolor artist? He paints on white silk. He's like 3 booths down from me. He was a Chinese artist, and I don't think he spoke very much English. He was very sweet and very humble. He actually won an award, and I don't know if you were the one telling me he always wins. Someone who kind of travels all these craft shows, art shows, sees him a lot, and she said that he's always winning. And I think that it's well deserved because he definitely was fabulous. So see how I'm darkening this one up because it's very pale. That's the thing about watercolor. It's a pale type of medium. And you can just kind of, you can add layers and layers. And I always try and tell people in my classes that there's kind of an ugly stage, and you just got to persevere through the ugly stage. Might make this area, oops, too much. Just kind of go a little bit. So you want to keep the white paper the white. So the seafoam is the white of the paper. And then I may even go a little darker. It may be too soon to go a little darker. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to have to make a bunch of these, y'all. And then, of course, I won't sell any. And then I'll be like, oh, well, I won't make any more. And then the next show, it'll probably sell. And then, who knows? They'll end up being brought back next year. I'm excited about our Halloween get-together. So no, you didn't see him? Oh. There were a lot of booths to look at, but his were super bright colored. He had a lot of prints as well. So that was the one thing. I talked to one watercolor artist. He knows Carrie from Coastal Makers, who I do classes with now in Robertsdale. Well, I'm starting on the 28th. And he used to teach with her in Mobile watercolor classes. And so we bumped into each other at the artist reception that night, which was kind of random, which was kind of cool. That's how God works, right? And look at, these are turning out to be similar yet different, and that's what I like about watercolor and painting, and I like how they look different, and they're not just a cookie cutter of each other. Sometimes figuring out the right ratio of paint to water is what even I can still struggle with. But so I don't know. I think that the show was good. I might do it again next year. A lot of the artists have applied for the Arts and Crafts show in Fairhope, which I still am undecided if I should do that one because it's like 3 days. And I just did 2 days and my voice is like, oh, I'm like a crunk. Got a weird little frog in my throat from it. I did have my lozenges to, trying to help me stay, and I drank tons of water, help me stay with my voice not going, but it just doesn't matter. I think it's whatever you're gonna have that issue if you're talking. um, I don't know. Did you see Biba came by, and she had her friend from Germany here. Who else came by? Bridget came by the last day. I don't know if you saw Bridget. Who are all? Oh, Karin came by. She's so sweet. Like Karin. She came by and she purchased some art from me. She's so sweet. I love that she has joined our group and she's awesome. And um, just that's one of those things where, you meet people at these shows and that it makes a difference. So I'm hoping that the people I've met at this show, they will join my classes and they will join our little Thursday group. Because that's always fun. But I don't know how many Halloween thingies we need to have made now. I think, oh yes, you saw Biba and Stephanie. Was that her friend's name? I'm so bad with names or remembering anything, to be honest. Sometimes I can't remember my own name. So yeah, I'm looking at this. I want this background for the ocean in the horizon line to be darker. Same with this one. I'm not sure if it's ready. We'll have to see. If I touch it and it goes too far, I'm going to have to stop. But, ooh, maybe it's good. Yeah, painting a straight line is not easy. Right? We have some issues with painting straight lines. Make those a little smaller. Yeah, sometimes when I start concentrating, I can't talk. I don't know why that is. There. I like how that's starting to look. It's looking pretty good. And same we're going to have to do with this one. And I do like that same blue. So let's see what happens if I add that in there. So I will say I did not break even with this. So I didn't come out ahead yet. But see, that's the thing. Our friend Kim, we have 13 for the 31st. I'm not sure. Yeah, I was thinking I'll make 15 just to be, just to be certain I have enough. But yeah, the show in general, and this happens a lot to me when I'm doing an arts shows. I do not sell much or enough to make up the fee for the show. Oops, y'all, I just messed that up. Let's see what happens. How do you mess up watercolor? So I'm gonna take that and keep erasing. That was one thing. I met a lot of watercolor artists who came by my booth and they were like, "Oh, it's so unforgiving." I'm like, "You need to take one of my classes because it can be forgiving." I do need to do that for a second. You can erase it. All you need is some water and a clean brush or paper towel. You just keep dabbing and then lift. So now I have to repaint down there and I'll have to wait for it to dry. But that's okay. There are ways to fix it. You made 20? Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see what you made. That's what I love about these little gift exchanges we do. But I think I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Kim. So Kim was like someone I met at the Brody Cream and Bean place in Silver Hill. They had their very first arts and crafts show, and it was only like $25 to set up. So I did, and it ended up that's where I met her. And then she started coming to my classes, and now she's at our Thursday group, and she's like an original now. So it's kind of cool. What else do we need to do today? I may end up shutting down a little early, y'all, because it is my voice is going and I need to do laundry. I have been gone basically all weekend, and it's been fun, but it's been a lot, And but I think it would be fun to do a gouache and watercolor side by side. I think that would be fun to do, and I can plan that out a little bit better for next time. I did kind of want to finish this one because I don't want you guys to think, oh, see, but it's still really wet. I could probably dry it real quick. Oh, and another thing, I did get a few commissions already, so that is good. I'm looking forward to that. I got to finish a couple commissions. That's something. Oh, I just heard my doggy at the door, which means she probably, I don't know if she needs to go outside or something. I don't know. Let's see how we can fix this problem I just had. So now it's got that straight line again. Let's see, I'm going to darken. There. Oh, yeah, that looks good. I like how that looks, and it's more watery. I kind of like it. And the thing about doing small watercolor paintings like this too is if you do mess up, it's 3 inches by 3 inches. I mean, if you mess up this, it's not going to break your bank. So I always like that you can do these super, super easy, and they're not gonna be a big deal, like if you mess up, right? So what do we got? I got my little sunflowers showing in there too. So basically, these were a big seller. I sold it, and I don't know how many I had of these. I think I had at least 4 of them. So that was pretty good. And I've shown you my little stamp that I made that I like to put now on my packages. So Art by Jacqueline Parks, and I drew that little turtle and my website so people can find me. It's always good to do that, right? And let me see if I can leave you guys with some scripture, which I like to do. And I was thinking of the verse that's encouraging to one another. What is that one? It's called, I'm not real good with what verse it is. Brenda says, love the beach on the left, the one you just finished. Awesome. So that was the one I messed up, which is great because that just goes to show it doesn't matter during the process how much you've messed up, as long as it looks like it should in the end, right? Okay, 1 Thessalonians 5:11. So whoops, let me see if we can find me again. There I am. All these different camera angles on my OBS and trying to figure out which one I want to be on to show you. And so it's like I have 2 screens in front of me on my computer, and I can see one and then the other, and it's kind of crazy. Sometimes I forget to push the transition button. But 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Wow. That was the theme of the craft show for me, was building each other up, encouraging one another. Everyone who came in, they got to see my Bible. So my Bible art journaling was out on the table. Brenda says, we are the only one to see our mistakes. That's so true. Like a lot of times my paintings, you will never know where my mistakes were unless I told you. So I'm the only one who sees them, right? But yeah, a lot of people came to my booth and I showed them my Bible, and they were so impressed. And I think I encouraged some to start joining our Bible study or our Bible journaling group, hopefully. that meets on Wednesdays. I would love to see it grow. Sometimes we only have two, Pat and me. Pat was wonderful, came by and bought some of my prints too. And I've just been so filled with love and encouragement from y'all, from my sisters in Christ and my crafting friends. And I've just been super blessed by this experience and definitely want to do it again. Um, it was a lot of work. I think I'm going to have to do some changes to my booth because of the spinning paintings and the walls were too billowy. So, and I want to be more prepared. Always want to be more prepared, which I don't know if that happens, but I would like to try and be more prepared. In fact, I have the Honeybee Festival coming up next. I think it's November 3rd. What's the first weekend? 2nd? November 2nd. So it's going to be November 2nd, Robertsdale, Alabama at the Honeybee Park, and hopefully you'll come by to see me there. That'll be fun. You can always check out my website and see if I have anything for sale on there. I haven't updated it. I like to just sell in person more than I do online, but I have sold some stuff off my website before. And I'm taking commissions for Christmas. If you need a pet portrait, home portrait, um, any kind of portrait, really, even humans I've done. And let's see what else. The little ornaments that I do, I don't have one right by me, but I do paint them on these little wood pieces. Oh, this was one print that I did of Panini Pete's that I had only one print with me, and it sold. So I need to make more of those probably. What did you say? Let's see. We are the only one. I already read that. So, alrighty. Well, thank you so much, y'all, for joining today. I hope you have a blessed day. I love you. I pray for you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!